If you've ever wondered what a SERE specialist would want to put into their bug out bag, you're looking at it right here. All right, so we have a lot to unpack here. I did some work recently with a U.S. Air Force SERE specialist. He contacted us, he wanted our top of the line pack. He wanted to swap a few things out, kind of the mix and match his own design, and then he wanted to add a whole bunch more things to it. So I said, yeah, let's do this. And I kind of tweaked some things here and there, and this is the pack that we settled on. Pretty much covers all bases, plus some comforts of life. So let's dig into it. Right here, a closed cell sleeping pad. Listen, you always have to worry about your body temperature, especially if you're sleeping on the ground, which is most likely that's where you're gonna be sleeping. So that convection versus conduction, you always have to be worried about losing that, either taking on too much heat or too much cold, or losing it from your body. So this is really going to help to mitigate that. Now, as far as water, we're going with the 2.5 liter hydration pack. It's called the Rapid Hydration Pack. It's basically your Camelback style. We all know Camelback. Hatchet, Prandi out of Italy, a phenomenal company. They pump out some really quality, top-notch quality products at very, very affordable prices. Now listen, I paid $130 or so for my Grandsfors Bruck, which I love. But you get something like this, it's running about 45 bucks, 45, 50 bucks, it still does the job. And of course, we have to have, these sheaths usually come separate. It comes with this little rubber piece here, but these guys have upgraded and gotten a Prandi leather pocket sheath here. It slides right down in here like this. Now when these things come brand new, I always recommend soaking them in water, some warm water, stretching them out a little bit to be able to fit it right over the head of the axe. Otherwise, you're really gonna be struggling to get it in there. It's kind of like working out a brand new baseball mitt. It's gonna take some time, you know, maybe get some oils on there, but I always recommend getting it in water. But make sure after you get it in water, you get it on here because it will shrink up. So you wanna mold that to the size of whichever type of hatchet or axe you might be carrying. So they wanted to swap out the basic first aid kit for something a bit more advanced. This GP IFAC Level 1 kit. This was their choice. Great kit. We've gone over that in another video. So I'm not gonna waste too much time going over that. Let's get down to the nitty gritty here. There are 1,000,001 uses for a shemagh. Cotton shemagh, 42 inch by 42 inch. It's a no-brainer. I carry multiple of them on me in my car, in my home, even in the kitchen, they're everywhere. So here we have a waterproof case for your map. So if you're doing land navigation, you've got a paper map, that thing gets wet, it falls to bits, then you're really screwed. So these guys requested one of these. We got them hooked up. Got to keep that map nice and dry so that you're able to read it. Speaking of keeping things dry, they wanted 2 different sizes for dry bag. This is the Pathfinder style. This is the 10, and then we have the 5 liter pack. So you wanted both the 5 and the 10. I carry a 1 liter and also carry a 5 liter in most of my packs. I carry my fire kit in there, got to keep that dry. I definitely carry spare socks. You got to keep your feet dry, got to keep them taken care of. Otherwise, it's going to be a disaster. If you can't walk anywhere, you're done. So you guys also wanted the Snug Pack Jungle Bag. This is probably our most popular bag. We sell this to a ton of different branches. We do a lot of work with the Coast Guard. Coast Guard loves Snug Pack. So this is your basic model here. See, very small. This goes down to, I think, about 32 to 34 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll be comfortable in this thing. Also what's called Jungle Bag. It has a zippered up net built into it should you find yourself in some conditions, maybe down in Florida, the Everglades, in the jungle, something like that, maybe way up north where you have a lot of mosquito infestation. It's miserable getting beat up, it really is. Those tiny little things will make your life absolute misery. We have the Pathfinder here. This is probably our top selling canteen cook set. The Pathfinder stainless steel canteen cook set, 39 ounces I believe this is. So it's got everything within it here, and all fits into like a snug unit in and of itself with a nice clip on the bottom there. Comes with the plastic cap. Please be smart, don't leave the plastic cap on if you're gonna put this thing in the fire to boil some water, to purify water. I know people have done that, it's just not a smart move. Take the plastic cap off, please. But self-containing unit right here. Again, we just talked about purifying water. If you don't have the ability to boil, you better have something quick like the Sawyer Mini here. This Sawyer Mini, This is rated up to 100,000 gallons of water, and it will actually do up to 100,000 gallons of water. I know a number of guys who have verified that. They say, yeah, I've been using mine for years. I've gone through about that much. Very small, very compact. The box is a little bit deceiving. It's larger. It's about half this size, if not smaller. You can fold it up and put it right in your pocket. Of course, you got to have the Mora knife. These guys chose the Garberg, the stainless steel. Now, I have a Garberg myself. You know, I mean, I go with the carbon blade. I was a fan of the carbon blade as far as the Garberg goes. Now, these guys wanted to go with the stainless steel, so they're probably working in some pretty wet environments. This one is plastic sheath here. So that's the one they chose, the one they opted for. We talked about the navigation with the map, your basic indoor sighting compass with mirror here. This is a pretty good compass. It is a very basic model. So some of these guys, I'm sure once they really get up there with the nav skills, they upgrade. It's military, so eventually they're gonna end up with a Kamanga. Paracord. Hey, this is just like the Shimog. There are 1,000,001 uses for paracord. This is your standard 557 strand cord. You have 100 feet of it here. Throw a bundle of this in there. Back to Snug Pack. This is the Snug Pack Patrol Poncho. We're gonna cover this when we do some chats about some videos about what types of ponchos we sell and what might be most beneficial for you. The Snug Pack Patrol Poncho. This is designed as large enough in the back that you can wear this pack and you can cover your body and this pack, and this poncho is not going to be riding up here. It's got enough length, enough meat in the back where it's going to go all the way down to the backs of your knees. It does have a hood on it, drawstring, really, really great quality poncho made by Snug Pack here. Listen, solar chargers, they're almost a must these days. We sell a couple different styles of solar chargers. This one is our most popular. That's why they opted to have this one in the bag, the bug out solar charger. Now, when this thing's fully charged, I can get about 1.5 full cell phone charges out of this. You can plug it into a regular USB outlet in your home, in your car, another power source, whatever it might be, and charge it pretty quickly there. It does charge pretty freaking well in the sun. I carry a couple on me everywhere I go, especially when I'm traveling around the country doing shows. I hook these up outside. Great backup source for power. The Blackbeard fire starting fire stick. Now, we've covered this in a couple of other videos as well. You can get about 50 fires out of this stick. Very compact braided rope, but before they braid it, they lay all the strands out and they treat it with proprietary blend of waxes and oils. Then they twist it. So it's not just covered on the outside, it's all the way through. Zippos are a classic. Gotta have the Zippos. I mean, self-explanatory here. Zippos can last literally a lifetime. Some Stormproof matches from UCO, 25 long head matches. Emergency whistle here. This is the M48 emergency whistle. Hey, listen, if you're by yourself, you're separated from your group, middle of the night, maybe you have a complication with your eyes and you need someone to come to find you, you can blow into this and somebody's gonna be able to hear you eventually and come to your rescue. Another standard. Hey, listen, they're small, it's wearable gear, a paracord survival bracelet. This one does have a small compass on it. It's got a mini ferro rod, a backup emergency whistle here, and here's your striker on the end. You only got maybe 10, 12, max, I'd say 15 feet, if that. You might be pushing it out of one of these. But I actually really saved my own rear end a number of years ago with one of these to use it as a secondary tourniquet. I didn't have my tourniquet on me, nearly took my thumb completely off. Had to slow that bleeding down, did it with my belt. Then I had to use this as a secondary tourniquet to really slow that blood loss. So to pair with the solar charger here, we have a solar operated headlamp. Now, these things are shockingly bright. You would not believe how bright these are. I put it on at first and I couldn't believe how bright it was. And I went out and I bought hundreds of them. Very small, very compact, flexible rubber band for the head. And it's got an option where I think it's probably not quite 180 degrees, but pretty close, maybe 120. So it's got a strip across here, and then you can switch modes where it just basically has a spotlight on the side of your head here. So if you really want to brighten it up in front of you, you can use that strip on the cross, or if you kind of want to narrow it down, you can switch to the option for the little spotlight on the side of your head. An emergency fishing kit. It's a bare bones fishing kit here. 2 hooks, 36 meters of line, 2 lures, 2 swivels, 2 weights. Your basics here should you need to go fishing for some food. When it comes down to fire again, let's say you're out of fuel for your Zippo, let's say you're out of matches. Well, the trusty old ferro rod. machined hole in one end, if you guys can see there, 5" by 1/2" ferro rod. You can literally get about 20,000 fires out of these as long as you don't lose it. I've never worn one out. I've never met someone who's worn one of those out. The magnesiums, they will wear down a bit faster. It's just softer composite. The ferro rod, not so much. Very tough. Basic microfiber towel. You never know what you're gonna need it for. So they just ask for a towel, something basic here. It's got a little hook on the end. It's got some mesh here in the corner. So if you're forced to fold this thing back up in there wet, it doesn't get moldy, it doesn't start stinking, it can air out. And we yanked out the, I recommended that they yank out the duct tape. We do put duct tape in our ultimate survival kit. I said, you're gonna be much better served with a roll of the Gorilla Tape. This stuff is incredibly strong, and it takes up a lot less room. Hey, with paracord and duct tape, you can build a house. These guys have enough gear, which they have in their pack here, they've opted to have in their pack, where they're gonna be set. So they don't really have to rely too much on having to, manufacture some sort of structure with a full roll of duct tape. This is gonna get the job done right here. And the pack itself, that has been upgraded from a 30-liter pack, your basic tactical 30-liter pack, to a much better quality pack by Red Rock. Red Rock, same company that makes that rapid hydration 2.5-liter camelback style there we mentioned earlier. So they upgraded to a larger pack. Again, MOLLE paneling here and here, and that's where we had our hatchet, which is buried under all this gear somewhere. We have our hatchet on one side, we have the hydration pouch on the other, and then we can strap this closed cell sleeping pad underneath here by loosening up these straps and hook them down. We also have plenty of MOLLE attachments here for any other type of gear you'd like to hang off, maybe some carabiners. One of the big advantages of upgrading to this Red Rock pack are the straps. If anybody's carried enough weight in a pack for long enough and your straps aren't padded, you know they dig into your shoulders big time. It's very uncomfortable and it can make for a miserable trip. You get red marks, you can start getting blisters, black and blue marks, peeled skin, things like that. So you're not gonna experience that with this pack because of the extra padding in the shoulder pads. And you have this cross strap for your chest. You also have one around the waist. Some nice mesh on the back panel here. And it's almost like your concealed carry here. You got a large pocket in the back where you can stick numerous other items. We leave that open. We don't stick any gear down in there. And a nice sturdy, well stitched over and over and over again, multi-stitching for your handle here on the top. And of course, we gotta hook you guys up with one of our Survival Gear BSO logo patches. So this is what a U.S. Air Force SERE specialist has picked out for his crew. This is gonna be the first, we just got all this gear in. This is gonna be the first shipment of packs we're gonna do. We're building about 10 of them now. And they're doing them in a series of 8 or 10 at a time. So we're very happy to met up with these guys, and this is what they chose for their packs. So if you've ever wondered what a SERE specialist would want to put into their bug out bag, you're looking at it right here.